banking industry is gearing up seriously towards the support of emerging opportunities in Nigeria. Traditionally, the banks have been involved just in lending for trade, but today we are beginning to see quite a lot of opportunities in the area of infrastructure, in the area of agriculture, in the area of power, and all the other new areas that are emerging. And the banks have been de-risked to a very large extent, and the level of capitalization has gone on with the rescued banks now fully recapitalized. Every person is looking at various opportunities that will come with the new order. In the area of power, for instance, the banks are putting their capital together, they are putting their funding together. The liquidity still remains very, very high in the banking industry. And what the banks are looking at are very good opportunities to lend, very good bankable projects for them to lend their liquidity to. When we look at the infrastructure, we believe that there is quite a lot that is going to happen in that area. The amount of money that is required is very, very substantial. Looking at the power reform agenda, we see that in the area of generation, there's going to be quite a lot now that the companies are being shortlisted to play a role in the generation. The banks are already analyzing the various prospective clients that they are going to lend a lot of money to. Also, in the area of distribution, we are also looking at the various entities that we are going to partner with. Now, coming to the road, the transport angle, we are also looking at prospective clients that we are going to lend quite a lot of money. So the banks are already prepared for this.
All right, let's talk a bit about agriculture, because that's an area that we know that the banking sector is not really involved. Total lending to that sector is less than 5%. And it will be interesting to see how things play out from now, because the new Minister of Agriculture, for instance, has talked about plans to de-risk the sector such that banks can get more involved.
Yeah. Okay, thanks so much. In the area of agri, there are quite a lot of opportunities in that particular segment. And let me state that it's not even 5%. The total exposure to the agri segment at this point in time is less than 2% of the total portfolio. And our objective is to move it up, because this is an area that contributes about 40-something% to the GDP. And when you look at it, for the case of Nigeria, yes, you have the entire value chain from primary production to storage to processing and so on, but we are not playing any major role in this area. And the reason is because we believe that infrastructure has been a very major constraint. Now that the government is focusing on the infrastructure together with the private sector through the PPP arrangement, we are also gearing up towards lending to the agri segment. There has been a scheme that is being driven by the Central Bank of Nigeria, which is the Commercial Agricultural Credit Scheme. And under that scheme, the government is providing about 200 billion plus, and the banks are lending to the agri sector at a maximum interest rate of 9%. And the banks are already playing major roles in that place. But what we want to do is to look at agri as a business, not as a program. Because at this point in time, people are looking at it that this is a social program to develop the economy. We are looking at it from the perspective of a business. This is a business case. There's a business case for agri. And as such, we would like to lend to fertilizer, we would like to lend for seedlings, we would like to lend for the primary production, we would like to lend for the storage. Storage is a very big problem at this point in time. We also want to lend to the agro-allied businesses for processing. And if you look at it also from the perspective that economies don't develop by exporting the primary production, but processing is what leads to the development of the economy because of the multiplier effect. So the banks are gearing up towards lending to the entire value chain in agriculture.